thank you for my small cheering section over there. That would be my wonderful colleagues Yasmin Ahmed and Rachel Ersted. So I am Kim England, the Harry Bridges Endowed Chair in Labour Studies at the University of Washington. I am so honoured to join you today to celebrate Juneteenth. Surely a recognition of Black resilience and resistance. I see around me flyers, posters, banners that say Black Lives Matter, root out racism, end systemic racism. Obviously named for the brilliant Harry Bridges, your long-term president, the chair and the centre at the University of Washington were founded in 1992, following a stupendous fundraising effort by members of the ILWU, including pensioners. Yes, this is our 30th anniversary. Join us at our celebration in November, information to come. The Bridges Centre proudly turns on the principles of Harry Bridges and the ILWU. Your commitment to democratic unionism, anti-racism and social justice. The Bridges Centre supports students and faculty who are dedicated to the study of workers and the labour movement. In many instances, through scholarships and fellowships named for key people in the ILWU, including, in fact, the family of Sunny Domingo that is in the audience today. So I thank you. We are here today to reflect on Juneteenth and what it means for the labour movement. One of your signs says, because I wasn't carrying one, honour Juneteenth as a work holiday. Harry Bridges was a leader of the ILWU for 40 years, as you well know. During that time, he promoted the advancement of black and brown workers within the ILWU, and in his lifetime what he saw is that the ILWU became the standard for progressive anti-racist unions. Throughout its long 90-year history, the ILWU has demonstrated how the labour movement can serve as an effective vehicle for racial justice. From the path-taking interracial alliances of the strike of 1934 to Black Lives Matter today. A figure that looms large in all of these decades of anti-racism is Frank Jenkins Jr. A valued colleague and friend of Harry Bridges, Frank Jenkins was born in 1903 and died in 1974 here in Seattle. He was a second-generation longshore worker. He was the son of a Buffalo soldier and a Filipina. The Jenkins family is thought to be the first recorded Filipino family in the Puget Sound area. And Frank was one of the first African-American labor leaders. And in 2018, another fantastic fundraising campaign by the ILW began, this time to create the Frank Jenkins Jr. Fellowship in Labour Studies at UW. So a huge thank you, people. Now, every year, we can memorialise Frank's memory by recognising exceptional students. I'm competing with trains, planes, I'm waiting for the automobiles at the moment, or maybe they're there. Anyway, exceptional students, how did I forget students, who have dedicated their education and to the advancement of the labour movement. Frank Jenkins was a participant in the pivotal 1934 longshore strike. He was a founding member of Local 19. In fact, he held official positions within the union for over 30 years until his retirement in 1967. Frank Jenkins worked to promote anti-racist practices in his union, your union. He mixed his union leadership with his civil rights activism, always stressing that racial justice was not just a civil rights issue, but a labour and a class one too. He died in 1974. Rest in power, Mr. Jenkins. In front of me, in front of me, you can see the banner, Keep Pier 46, a 87-acre container terminal. I can't see it, but I think that's what it says. I heard that this relates to the Coast Guard proposing to indefinitely expand its footprint here at Terminal 46. And I want to thank, most sarcastically, the Truman administration for helping with that. Because this is not your first disagreement, in 1950, the Coast Guard's power was substantially expanded to encompass not just ships, but also harbours, ports and waterfront facilities. It also meant that the Coast Guard could conduct background checks on maritime workers, really on the flimsiest of pretexts. Psst, have you heard so-and-so is a communist? In a way, it became a way to screen workers rumoured to have communist ties and effectively deny union workers the ability to freely access the docks and ships and to earn a living. And we've heard this already. I want to direct your attention to my right, behind you over here, to a series of articles that ran in the Dispatcher from October 1950 to June 20th, 1952. Recognize that date? 70 years ago today. So the screening, and what that one from 1952 says, that the screening was held illegal. School. The screening disproportionately affected black maritime workers. In the Puget Sound region in the early 1950s, they comprised a minority of the ILWU's membership. I know it's different today. But African Americans constituted 70% of the longshore workers denied Coast Guard passes. Guess who one of them was? Frank Jenkins. In 1955, he stood with Harry Bridges when Harry was put on trial for, I don't know, the fourth, fifth time for being a communist and threatened with deportation. You can't trust those Australians, can you really? And Frank suffered immediate retaliation for his support of Harry. Frank's Coast Guard pass got revoked, with a Coast Guard representative suggesting he was a threat to his country, a communist even. Frank fought back with the help of his union, your union. His pass was returned 4 months later. There is power in a union. Union strong.
Thank you, Kim England. Everybody give it up for her. Before we close, we have 3 more speakers, but I'd like to give some shout outs to some of our volunteers and workers that have made this possible. We don't want to end the day without acknowledging them. So first we want to acknowledge Alex Raptor over there on the camera. Give it up for Alex. And our sound in the middle.
Yeah, thank you to our sound, Gabriel Caguras, Terry Gray, Cody Southworth, Shane Severson, and of course Bob Barnes, who is local 15, has negotiated Juneteenth to be a paid holiday. All right. Which we are also in the process of negotiating, ILWU. This is something that every worker should have. Every worker should have a paid holiday, Juneteenth.
Keep it moving. Next, we're going to bring to the stage Bruce Jackson, Seattle Education Association and Board of Washington Ethnic Studies. Now.